Bit of Slap and Tickle, Part 1. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to the first in probably going to be 3 videos. Still part of my DVD collection, although there are a couple of Blu-rays in here as well. And this is what I call my Slap and Tickle collection. Let me explain. I have a fondness, let's say, for, to use a catch-all phrase, 70s sex comedies. These were films made largely in the 70s that were comedies about sex, hence the name. I'm a comedy fan, as most of you are aware. I've yet to go through my comedy DVDs. That's sort of next on the list, but I've got a hell of a lot. I like to laugh, basically. So, any comedy film I like to give a go at. So any comedy film piques my interest. If they've got naked women in, all the better. I'm a man. I have needs. I'm a single man. I have needs. Some of these aren't very good, I'll be honest. Some of them are only good because of the naked women in it, I'll be honest. I will try and explain those as I go through. Some of these, the reason I call it my Slap and Tickle collection is because there's a range of films released by the Odeon Entertainment Group of films of this genre, and it's called the Slap and Tickle collection. So that's sort of become a catch-all phrase in my mind for them. The 70s sex comedies, they're not all made in the 70s, although most of them are. They're not all comedies, although most of them are. I'm sure there's another caveat there. They're not all DVDs, although most of them are. Yeah, so I call them 70s sex comedies, but some bits in here don't really fall into that category, but they're more, I'll use the phrase, erotic films, if you like. They're specialist interest films. You know what I mean. Some of these covers will feature scantily clad, possibly naked women. If that offends you, just tune out now. Don't watch this series of videos, basically. I appreciate these aren't to everybody's taste. I like them. That's all I would say. So first up, we have a French film. Excuse me. Good Little Girls, Les Petites Filles Modèles, a film by Jean-Claude Roy. In the Naughty series. So this wasn't too bad, actually. A group of two aristocratic teenage sisters who, together with 2 newly acquainted girlfriends, embark on a long hot summer of sexual awakening. Their libertarian mother, Madame de Fleurville, who hosts TV sex education shows Sexual Time, invites all manner of celebrities and socialites to dine at their stately manor in order to broaden her daughter's knowledge. Blah-de-blah-de-blah-blah. You sort of get the vibe from that, but yes, very attractive women. Even though it's French language, it's funny, you know what I mean? There's enough in there to get the humour. Yeah, a good one. We have Cinderella. What the Prince Slipped Cinderella was not a slipper. This, if I remember correctly, wasn't very good. It's better than Fairy Tales, which I was so pathetic I didn't even include it in this series. I just stuck it in with my normal Blu-rays. This did have a few funny moments. And a few sexy moments as well, but it wasn't great. Cheryl Rainbow Smith stars as Cinderella, who's sort of a name in this genre. But it's basically a retelling of Cinderella with lots of sex in it. I say it wasn't a great example. This is a network release. This is a breaking of Bumbo. I've stuck it in with this lot because technically it's a sex comedy, but for some reason this version and most of the versions that have been released have all the sex edited out, or most of it anyway. There are cuts where it stars Joanna Lumley, and there's an extended nude scene from her that doesn't appear in this, but is floating around on the internet. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it's not in this version. It's an okay film. It's not great. Based on a novel. So it's swinging 60s, and Bumbo Bailey is a newly commissioned ensign of a household brigade, but he's bored with the social life this entails. He falls in love with Joanna Lumley's character, and her friend, who are revolutionaries who organise anti-war demonstrations, and they try to manipulate him into disrupting the army, basically. It's not great. This is a Blu-ray. This is Felicity. This is actually an Australian film. That's why, because that was what I was... my misnomer section at the start. I was going to call them British sex comedies, and I was going to say they're not all British. Yeah, this is an Australian film. So, Glory Annan stars as Felicity Robinson, a sheltered teen who surrenders her blossoming body to a world of bold sexual adventure, from her forbidden pleasures at an all-girls school in England to wanton hungers in the exotic underground of Hong Kong. She finds herself deflowered, defiled, and ultimately delighted by the shame and ecstasy of libido unleashed. Yeah, that was a good film. It is properly funny. Very attractive women in it. It's everything you would want from the genre. This also contains 2 bonus features: the ABCs of Love and Sex and Australia After Dark. They weren't great. They were quite interesting, but they weren't. They're more sort of documentaries made to get around using more explicit sex in a film, if that makes sense. This is The Wife Swappers. Very brash covers for some of these. I'm trying to remember this one. The Wife Swappers. It's kinky, it's highly erotic, and it's going on in your street. These are the stories of the partners in promiscuity in search of forbidden fruits. Seemingly ordinary married couples who behind closed doors turn into rampant sexual adventurers, lasting after sordid thrills no matter what the risks. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. Stanley Long wrote and produced it, but he didn't direct it. Really don't remember this one, to be honest, so it can't have been that good. This is Emmanuel in Soho. This is from the Slap and Tickle collection. So set in London's notorious red light district, it exposes a salacious world of backstreet striptease shows, pornographers, and the infamous casting couch. Fame-hungry Emmanuel, Mandy Miller, does whatever it takes to make it big, even if that means signing up with London's sexiest porn agent, John M. East. Produced by David Sullivan, features tragic beauty Julie Lee in her only starring role, ably assisted by a bevy of gorgeous girls, including cameos from sex queens Lindsay Drew and Marie Harper. Released in July 1981, the movie became the very last blockbuster of the British sex comedy era. Sorry, I just got a low battery message on. I'm going to pause this here and charge for a bit. Okay, had a quick charge. Where was I? Yes, Emmanuel in Soho. I don't remember much about it. Julie Lee, who this was her only proper role, she does briefly appear in another film, is a terrible actress, so they had to reduce her role, but she's really good looking. I don't remember much about the film, but it's not great. This is Naughty, a report on pornography and erotica. This is produced and directed by Stanley Long. I seem to remember this was quite funny. It's sort of a tongue-in-cheek documentary about sex. Naughty is a remarkable DVD about the exploding European sex scene of the early 70s that shows all and tells all, but is strictly for adults only. Reenacting sexual customs past and present, it graphically covers all manner of lust and debauchery. This is a DVD that has to be obscene to be believed. Yeah, it was very tongue-in-cheek and was quite good, I seem to recall. This is Jackie Collins's The World is Full of Married Men. So this is more of a thriller, drama than a comedy. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. It's a Jackie Collins story, so it's, a bonkbuster type story. I really don't remember much about it. This is I'm Not Feeling Myself Tonight. It almost looks like it's a photocopied cover, but it's a proper release. It's very strange. John Pidgeon is lucky enough to work in a sex research institute, but spends far too much of his time lusting hopelessly after pretty office secretary Cheryl. That is until he invents an amazing machine that emits a powerful sonic aphrodisiac capable of instantly turning any man or woman into a sex maniac. But his sex ray requires a bit of practice, and there are a few hilarious misfires and unexpected orgies before he gets to turn on the right girl. James Booth is in it. Mary Millington appears briefly in it. An early film for her. Only previously available in a heavily edited version on VHS with 20 minutes removed. This contains a complete and uncut version only previously seen in cinema. Nothing explicit. I seem to recall it was fun. The Deadly Females, playing Rula Olenska, Heather Chasson and Bernard Holly. Again, not really a comedy. All-female hit squad. It was quite good, quite enjoyed it. We have Not Now Darling. So this one's only a PG, it's not overly sexy. It's a bit more of a farce. In fact, I think it's based on Ray Cooney's Farce. As you can see, stars Barbara Windsor, Leslie Phillips, that is Ray Cooney, Julie Edge, E-G-E, I think it's Edge, I think you pronounce it, Joan Sims as well, co-directed by Ray Cooney and David Croft of Croft and Perry, Dad's Army, etc. fame. Peter Butterworth's in it as well. I say it is a farce about the boss of an exclusive West End fur salon is trying to give his mistress, Julie Edge, an expensive mink coat. Leslie Phillips is the boss, without upsetting her jealous husband. Oh, it's a typical farce. I think there's a bit of boob in it from Julie, but yeah, it was a good, funny film. This is Escort Girls, which stars David Dixon, better known as Ford Prefect in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV series. So, again, this isn't so much a comedy, but it's that sort of genre anyway. Basically, it's about lonely people looking for relationships, using escorts, etc. It was quite good, actually. Yeah. Okay, that will do for part 1. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks. Bye.